Friends, welcome. Whenever a person gets a summon from GST authorities, and that too from DGGI, which stands for Director General of GST Intelligence, person immediately gets worried, gets stressed, and sometimes a fear factor also comes to his or her mind. Many times, the reason for this kind of anxiety is it is seen that primary reason is lack of awareness. So this video is an attempt to create awareness among taxpayers that if the taxpayer is genuine, if he is an honest taxpayer, then nothing to worry. The only thing is that he should plan properly. And whatever questions will be asked, he should be answering it properly, politely. And if some evidences are asked, all that he has to do, he needs to submit that evidences and nothing to worry. But if the taxpayer is a dishonest taxpayer, then they normally these DGGI authorities will try to explain him what is the liability, what is the consequences. He may agree to pay, that is up to him. And he might have to face the consequence. That is the thing. So nothing to worry for honest taxpayers. So let us see how to plan it. For that, I would like to share my screen with you so that I'll be able to explain you the basic provisions. First of all, uh, let us do it like this. If a GST summon is coming, so we have to do a proper planning, how to face it. And planning means we'll do it in like three steps. First of all, before appearing, what we need to do, what kind of preparation is required. Then during the inquiry, when proceedings are going on, how one can face it. So that also one should plan for it. Then after this investigation is over, what kind of action one need to take. So it's like this. In three steps, we'll be discussing. Normally, someone looks like this. You see, there is a standard format. And how GST authorities handle that someone, there is a decided procedure. They follow that procedure. And again, I repeat, if the taxpayer is honest, nothing to worry. So everything will happen as per the procedure. They will asking some questions. They'll recording the statement. Take your signature on that statement. Then they will leave you. That is the process. Okay, in the summer, they might have mentioned the purpose. For example, let us say they want to take your statement. They must have mentioned. They must be asking some evidences for certain transaction. That may be mentioned in the summer. So you need to prepare and arrange all these documents. And first of all, let us see the basic provision. Basic provision is contained in Section 70 of CGST Act 2017. So if you read that particular provision, which is appearing before you on the screen, this is exactly verbatim reproduction of the sections. You see, Section 70 gives power to the proper officer to issue summons. If you read it, subsection 1, it says the proper officer. That means some category of officers are only entitled to issue summons. So it says the proper officer under this act shall have power to summon any person whose attendance he considers necessary, either to give evidence or to produce document or any other thing in any inquiry. So all these things can be called for. And it also says, in the same manner, so provided in the case of civil court under the provisions of Civil Court Procedure 1908. That means the proper officer has to follow, or the someone has to be dealt as per civil court procedures. So that means you have to treat it like a court order. Accordingly, you need to honor that order. And also, subsection 2 is again saying that someone, every such inquiry referred in subsection 1, that means that someone part which is referred in subsection 1, shall be deemed to be a judicial proceeding. That means it is a process of the court within the meaning of section 193 of section 228 of uh, Indian Penal. So one may have to feel the consequences, which is mentioned in section 193 as well as section 228 of IPC. So someone has to be honored. If someone has come, one has to attend. Right, friends? And as we have seen, Section 70 says that it is possible to issue someone only when some inquiry is pending. Inquiry not necessarily for the taxpayer. Maybe inquiry might be conducted against some other person, but document might be collected from you. That possibilities are also there. And the purpose is normally to record a statement or to collect some evidence to some other information. So, so if you're receiving some kind of someone, you need to prepare. You need to submit those evidences and need to prepare to give your statement. Sometimes this questions comes to the taxpayer's mind that DGGI is located in different places. Sometimes a businessman might be sitting in a particular state. He gets someone from Delhi. So he thinks that this is beyond the jurisdiction of the Delhi authorities. Friends, that is not true. DGGI is having jurisdiction all over India, and consequently, they can issue someone to anybody who is located at any part of India. Jurisdiction is all over India. DGGI has no state specific jurisdiction. All India basis, they got jurisdiction. But however, if the taxpayer feels it is practically not possible and it will create some genuine difficulties for the taxpayer, what he can do? He can make a request to transfer the case. It is again up to the proper officer to consider that request or not. It depends if the proper, there may be genuine reasons for not transferring the case. So it is up to the proper officer. But request can definitely be made. Yeah. Now coming to attendance part, one has to appreciate that when summons are issued, the person to whom someone is issued is bound to attend and is bound to attend in person. He has to personally go and appear. Authorized representatives or authorized agent can attend only when the taxpayer is not a natural person. This is the established law. Okay. That means suppose someone is issued to a company. The company is not a natural person. It's an artificial person. Then the company may authorize an employee to represent the case, attend the summon. That possibilities might be there. Okay, but if it is a someone is issued to a natural person, he himself has to go and okay, friends. So these questions might be coming to your mind that is it possible to attain someone through a consultant, through a lawyer, through a chartered accountant, or through a power of attorney holder? Friends, Section 70 of the CGST Act 2017 is actually silent in this matter. Uh, s- okay, who can attend? Whether in person means whether it is possible to attend through authorized agent. If you refer to similar law which was there in Central Excise Act or Customs Act, it says when the person is summoned, he is bound to attend either in person or by authorized agent. This kind of provision is not there in Section 70 of CGST. And there has been some court cases also, which has not favored the assessee, was not favored the taxpayer, rather it has favored the department, the authorities. Therefore, we can understand as of now, the position is that if someone is issued, one need to attend in person. If the person is not a natural person, then someone, some authorized representative, some employees, some director can be attending. They can go and attend, not through consultant, not through lawyers. They may go along with the client, and officer may allow them to watch the summon proceeding. But the authorities may not take statement from the consultant. So established law is that one has to go personally. So kindly appreciate that thing. Now here one more issue. Let us discuss. Is it possible to postpone the date of summon? Suppose someone is issued to appear on a particular date, and for some reason it is not possible for you to go on that. Then you can seek a postponement. So you can make a request, but the request letter has to go immediately by a registered post with acknowledgement due. If a mail is provided, you can also send a mail, right? And you should give the genuine reasons. authorities may consider that thing. There are genuine reasons, maybe prefixed official meeting. There might be some unavoidable causes like illness, and maybe the person is out of the country. Personal issues like health issue, or like a death of a close family member. So these kind of issues, maybe um, maybe the reason for which the taxpayer is seeking postponement of the date. So in that case, the officers normally considers the request. And even if somebody is unable to attend, he can send the information. Information can be sent. Later on, he can go. It's postponed later on, he can go and attend the summon. That possibility is also there. Now, coming to planning part, what a person is supposed to do. What is important here is that if you are going to attend a summon, be prepared. Be prepared in the sense, you see, this is a summon coming from DGGI, that is Director General of GST Intelligence. They must be having some information about you, about your business transactions. They might be having an opinion, or they might be having a reason to believe that some kind of tax which is a due, which is your liability, is not paid. So you have to give information relevant to that. So what is expected of you? You need first of all understand your business transactions, your supply, your purchases, how you are paying, how you are computing tax, how you are paying, how you are availing ITC. These basic things you need to understand. You also need to understand the financial statements, because if they're asking some figures, you should be able to extract those figures from the financial statements and provide them. So this is the basic things one need to know. And also we need to be aware of your rights when the questions are asked. You got certain rights. You got a right to remain silent. You may say, I will choose not to answer this question. You may say that thing, that will be recorded. You got a right to retraction. That means if you're given some statement and after some time, during the summon proceeding, you are realizing that the statement is not correct. So you may change it. You may withdraw your previous statement and submit the correct and latest statement. That is also possible. Not that you have said something that is final. No, you can you can retract it also. You can refresh memory if you have forgotten something. If you want to refer something, you can do that. You can cross-examine also. Sometimes, if the assessee believes that the officer is distorting the facts by referring to the statements made by other parties, officer is saying, no, that person is saying like this. Assessee has got a right to cross-examine. Okay. So that possibility is also there. Assessee can request for a cross-examination. So these possibilities are also there. Now, let us see during investigation, what are the things or how carefully you need to handle the thing. First of all, carry one identity proof. Someone is issued so that you will be appearing in person. So carry a proof that you are the same person. Please switch off your telephone. Okay, phone, please switch off. Carry necessary documents with support. Whatever relevant document is asked, please carry them with supporting documents. Cooperate with the officer. So you see, try to appreciate that they are doing duty. They are following a particular procedure. So it is our duty to cooperate. Be truthful. You may carry a small notebook and you may seek their permission. If you want to note something, you may, uh, with their permission, you can note down. Answer all the queries politely. If you do not know, please communicate that you do not know that answer. If you do not want to say the answer, that also you can say. And finally, when statement is recorded, the officer is asking you to sign it. Please read it, then sign. In case you are forced to make a promise, so suppose the officer is saying you make a promise that you will be paying this much of tax, you'll be reversing this much of ITC. So try to see that actually that is your liability or not. If you're accepting, fine. If you're not accepting, then politely deny that you are unable to make this kind of promise, or you cannot decide right now. you'll be deciding later on. In case you are asked to pay or reverse ITC, something you may think of. You may think of paying under protest. That concept also we'll discuss it. So finally, let us say you are not agreeing, but some officer is insisting you to pay. You may decide to pay it under protest, right? And finally, you may ask a copy for the copy of the statement. That is also your right. Finally, when it is recorded, you may request them to get a few key points. Also, let us discuss. Uh, as I was telling you right now, that who is attending, he has to state the truth of on any question, whatever question is asked, he's supposed to tell the truth. If it's not known, he should clearly mention that this is not known to him. If he feels that the information he will be able to provide after some time, he may ask for the time. He may request that I will be able to provide it after some time. Please ensure that no untruthful statement is made. Because if you're making an untruthful statement, the statement is lie, later on you may be issued a show cause notice for that. And it will be difficult to handle that situation. Never say any lie. Ask politely before the someone proceeding starts that if you can note down, if the officer is permit, then you must have carried a diary or notebook, then please note down for you briefly few important points for your answering what is their question. And again, I repeat, read the statement before signing it. Ensure that if you're saying said something positive, some favorable aspects, that is also recorded in that statement. I repeat, ask for a copy of the statement. Read the statement before signing it. And please see that while reading that statement is matching it with your answers. So that also please ensure. In case the statement or copy is not given, you asked but it is not given. So immediately after coming out from inquiry room, you may write down all the questions and answers when they're fresh in the mind. And specifically note down those questions which are not recorded. If you feel it is not recorded, you can write down this thing. And after coming out immediately, preferably within 24 hours, send a letter by registered post with acknowledgement due, writing down all the questions and answers which are given, and make it very clear that a copy of the statement was asked but not provided for. Post someone proceeding, you can immediately do it as early as possible. If a copy is not given, that step you should take. And let us now discuss about the legality of the statement made. Please appreciate that the statement which you have made before the summoning authority is legally binding. Okay. And once given, unless it is retracted or additional information is provided, that is legally binding on both. Okay. And therefore, if you find there is some discrepancy or statement is incorrect, so on priority basis, you need to retract the statement, preferably within 24 hours. Please send a letter of intimating that you are deferring, you are retracting your statement. And this letter should send by registered post with acknowledgement due, right? Sometimes what happens, uh, some people may feel, and specifically it is observed that when authorities feel that taxpayer is dishonest, taxpayer is hiding something, uh, there may be some harassment in the summoning procedure, the summon procedure. Harassment in the sense, sometimes suppose the taxpayer is called to arrive at the 11 a.m., but finally proceedings are conducted at 5 p.m. So much of waiting time. All this thing happens. So sometimes statements are taken under extreme pressure. Sometimes officer might be giving threats to arrest. He may repeatedly tell you these are the procedure, these are the regulations, these are the law regarding prosecution. He may threaten you to close your bank accounts, close your business, all these things. Appropriate provisions are there. He may show you that thing. So try to understand. Try to understand that whether it is actually applicable to you or not. In case for some reason, if you find that the behavior of the officer is unacceptable, you may politely seek permission and leave. You may ask them permission and you may make a request that this type of behavior is unacceptable to me. Please allow me to leave and fix a different date. You may make that kind of request. And immediately after coming out, send a letter with the registered post with acknowledgement due, explaining the circumstances, why you left the meeting, and also with a request to fix an alternate. That also you may think. Okay, friends. Now, one more important aspect we need to discuss. First of all, someone is a different kind of proceeding. It is an inquiry proceeding where you are supposed to submit the document. So normally you should not commit any tax payment or confession or suggestion. These kind of things you should not do. Only information is asked, you provide that information. So do not commit any tax payment. But if circumstances is such that you are forced to make payments, then you may think of paying that money under protest. And how you'll be paying? So you may decide to pay it through DRC3, which is a voluntary payment. That means you yourself is assessing and you feel the tax is due and you are paying. And there is a where there is a one can write the purpose of that payment. Okay, there is a provision for that. So when you're writing the purpose, you clearly mention that this is the payment. This is the payment made under protest, and this should not be considered say as acceptance of the liability. So this is forcibly made. That you can mention. Why I'm saying this? Because if you're doing this, later on you can claim for a refund. When you're claiming for refund, even if your refund is rejected, against that order, you can go for appeal. That is a possibility. This possibility is there. But if you fail just like that, not under protest, and there will be no order against it. So in that situation, it will not be possible for you to go for appeal. So because you voluntarily you are calculating, you are paying, so you can appeal against which order? You don't have any order. So you can pay it under protest, claim for refund, and again go to appeal if refund is rejected. But you have to also consider the other consequences of that. If you are paying it under protest, that means you are not accepting liabilities. So later on, if it is found that actually you are liable, you might have to pay penalty, interest from the very beginning. That aspect you have to be very clear. Well, friends, that's what I'm saying. If you're deciding to pay it under protest, then you clearly mention that you're paying it under forced circumstances and it should not be considered as acceptance of liability. Okay, refund can be claimed. If rejected, appeal can be filed. Few other points also you need to keep it in mind. If the taxpayer is not comfortable in English language, he can ask for recording in local language. He has got a right to cross-examine also that I have discussed. If the concerned employee is unaware of the facts, he may suggest the name of some other employee who is familiar. That can be done. And you see, if proceeding is going on, normally taxpayer would like to take the consultant if this kind of counsel is accompanying. So courts have decided the counsel has got a right to be present. He can be present, but within visible distance, but beyond hearing distance. Counsel should not be hearing the proceeding, but he can be seen. So that is possible. So officer may allow the counsel to sit in a place where he is visible, but not audible. Courts normally do not interfere at summoning stage, so do not go to a court and approach a court to interfere in summon proceedings. Summon is only an information collection process. And one more thing, even if the taxpayer has filed all documents, and if someone is issued, he is bound to attend also. He cannot say that I have given all the documents, so I need not attend. No, he has to take. So therefore, someone needs to be taken very seriously. And if it is issued, so one person need to go and personally attend it. Friends, I believe that most of the things are clear in your mind. Lastly, again, I'll repeat, for honest taxpayers, nothing to worry about. Dishonest taxpayers, he has to face the consequence. In the sense, tax authorities will be collecting the information which will be helping them to arrive at the tax liability and demand it. So you need to cooperate in both the situations. Thank you, friends. Thank you very, very much.